Let's move now from the tricks and treats of the New York City mayor's race to Halloween. It is Halloween. So remember when Halloween was mainly about costumes and candy, but it has evolved into an industry worth billions of dollars. In fact, it's expected to reach $13 billion this year. So before we get into any numbers, let's all go around and say, what are we going to be for Halloween? Jay, you are, for those that are watching us, the Instagram reel right now, you have some interesting hair and accessories going on right now.
Yeah, so what I'm missing is like a tiny guitar and like a sequin top, which I didn't have. But yeah, I'm like the aging rock star. Or Barb, I think you had a different reception of this. Who did you think I looked like?
David Cassidy, I think.
David Cassidy at 60.
Yeah,
I will take that.
Yeah,
I will take that. So
absolutely.
that's what I'm going as.
And Barb, how about you?
I'm not sure who or what I am, other than not myself. I'm definitely not myself today, with, feathers and bling, but I do like green, as I do like your hair, Mary. It's wonderful.
Thank you. I'm wearing the Disgust from Inside Out wig. And I think, Lee, your face mask gives away what you are today.
Yes, I am, after all, Zorro. And I was, my thing almost came apart here. Let me make sure I don't.
Your sword? Yeah, please don't lose your sword.
Yeah, I don't want to do that in the middle of a battle here. That would not be good. But so anyway, yeah, I went Zorro today, and I may be switching off later. I have lots of costumes.
The fox so cunning and green, right?
Yes, which I always thought from the song meant the cops love lima beans. And it was corrected that cunning and breen, although I don't know what breen is. But so Jamie Lynn, a fellow employee of Marist, as a result of this, once gave me, it says cop, and it's a can of lima beans. So I was prepared for the cops love lima beans, even if that isn't the word. Zorro, the fox, are cunning and breen.
Well, in your defense, what were you, 6 or 7? So I mean, you're not going to.
But I had a PhD.
Green means.
I had a PhD from MIT and still thought it was that. So let's it took me a long way to get that corrected. And but then again, the correction doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
But Mary, Halloween isn't just about the kids anymore, is it?
It's not. It's all about the money. And so, as I mentioned, spending for Halloween is expected to top $13 billion. That's according to the National Retail Federation, and that's up from $11.6 billion last year, and the previous record set in 2023 of a little more than $12 billion. But according to a brand new AP Norc poll that came out today, as we record this podcast, about a third of Americans will hand out candy on Halloween. And 32%, down from 36% in 2019, would say that they're decorating their house. Now, this is something that Jay and I have been talking just a little bit about, because decorations, lights were really reserved mainly for Christmas when you think about the holidays. When I was younger, we would have a jack-o'-lantern, maybe some cardboard cutouts for the window. But I caved this year and put up a few more lights, some purple and green lights, and we have a bluey inflatable in front of the house. And it just seems that we've been adding more and more. And Jay, you had an interesting observation about the year-round display at, shall we say, a well-known hardware store.
Yeah, so I have a family out in Colorado, and I have a grandnephew. Boy, I'm old. I am old David Cassidy. I have a grandnephew. And his favorite place to go virtually all year round, because it's up almost all year, is the Halloween display at Home Depot. And the Halloween display is about 20 animatronic characters are all set up in the front of the store, including seems like a 50-foot high skeleton. It's only like $299 too. That's the crazy thing. I mean, this thing is huge and it doesn't cost that much. And then all these animatronic, witches going and all that other stuff. And he wasn't the only one. All these kids, like dads were coming in shopping, moms were coming in shopping, and it's like, here, kids, stand here, hit those buttons, play around. I got to go do some shopping. So Halloween's kind of expanded, I think, especially the home side of it, not just trick-or-treating. I think your point is, I think what this poll found is well taken.
Yeah.
Well, another statistic that I found really striking, which was done by a Nextdoor business survey, and this was for September 2024, so this, kind of this time last year. 97% of American parents were celebrating Halloween last year. And in fact, parents prefer it to Valentine's Day, which was at 65%, the 4th of July, 58% were celebrating it, New Year's Eve, 54%, and this was the shocker, Thanksgiving, only 52% were celebrating it. So perhaps the kids have a lot to do with it.
I think that's the difference. I mean, you can sort of do a family thing here, and the kids are really driving it.
So the top child's costume of this year, also according to a survey of the National Retail Federation, is Spider-Man. Are there a lot of Spider-Man in your neighborhood, Mary?
Well, interestingly enough, my daughter's friend had a Halloween party, and she was a female Spider-Man.
Wow.
It was awesome. I loved her costume. It was like a purple jumpsuit. Yeah, Jay, I was a Spider-Man fan when I was a kid, and I would have loved to have dressed up like Spider-Man. So having a female version of Spider-Man is really awesome. But Barb, I think there's another topper on there that I certainly am familiar with. I think another popular costume is the princess costume. And
Absolutely.
at this same Halloween party, pretty much every girl except for the little girl I mentioned and my daughter were princesses. And so my daughter, because her costume hadn't arrived yet, was a crayon for that, because we had that as a spare costume.
A spare backup costume.
Oh, you have no idea. And then she wanted to be Bluey. So she has a Bluey costume that she wore to a school Halloween party. And then I'm not even going to go down the list of what happened next, but her costume got really messy, and it was one of those do not wash. So we ordered yet another costume for Halloween, which is now a princess costume. She will be Rapunzel for Halloween.
Okay, now if you go to different Halloween parties with the same guests, do you have to wear a different Halloween costume?
Oh no,
Can you not repeat?
Oh no, you can definitely repeat. This was more of a logistical thing. The first party was, I think, 2 weeks before Halloween, and so her costume hadn't arrived yet. And then she came home with chocolate donut all over her very fuzzy Bluey costume.
Okay. Well, I'm all for the princess costumes, as you
But
know.
the point you make, Barb,
but my favorite cake, hang on, my favorite cake is the princess cake.
that's true.
So for another episode.
So let me ask you a question, though. So the answer is you can sort of go repeat your outfit. So if the four of us happen to be invited to a Halloween party, we do not have to change. This is it. We just go
Not
as
for this
is.
year, but next year, Lee, you're gonna have to come up with something else. But there is a serious side too to Halloween,
Yes.
and that has to do with some of the safety risks. Certainly, there's a lot of excitement and a growing number of Americans do head to their neighbors' homes or other community gathering spots on Halloween. And according to the American Red Cross, pedestrians are at a 43% higher risk, believe it or not, of fatality on Halloween, with obviously 6 to 7 p.m. being among the most dangerous, because it's kind of when everything comes together, the trick-or-treating, rush hour, it's dusk, people on the road can't see the kids, and the kids are excited. So I think there's also a need to, have caution. When you're out there, be looking both ways, and that goes for drivers as well of those who will be partying, in their neighborhoods.
Hey, before we go, I want to ask a question. What was your favorite candy when you were a kid, and what was your trick-or-treating? What was your favorite costume? Barb, let's start with you.
Well, I would say my favorite candy when I was a kid was Snicker bar. And
Favorite candy as an adult?
anything. I am not. I will not discriminate. I don't think there's any such thing as a favorite candy bar or ice cream. So, and then let me see. My favorite costume. I think one year I dressed up and really went all out as a cat. And I know that doesn't sound terribly extravagant, but I had a wonderful
Well, they made a
long-
whole Broadway musical out of it, so you know.
I had a big bushy tail and furry ears, and I didn't think anybody recognized me.
Yeah, yeah.
Lee, how about you?
Let's see now. Favorite candy would be most chocolates, but I think the Hershey with almonds at that point was definitely high on the list. And I didn't know about marzipan. I probably would go for that now if it was offered,
Cool.
but I did not know what that was way back when.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people were now marzipan.
No, they wouldn't. So I mean, that you're not going to get that at Halloween for sure. And I think that my number one costume, as I recall, was a kind of like a short version of a New York Yankee outfit. And
Surprise.
And that was part of my ambition to play center field at the time. Mickey Mantle was the center fielder, and I didn't really have much opportunity to get to try out for the team, but I was dressed accordingly.
So I used to love, I still do, Reese's peanut butter cups.
Okay.
Those are my favorites. And trying to think back to my costumes when I was younger, but one year I was a Cabbage Patch Kid. And I think that would probably have to be my favorite Halloween costume as a kid. But I can't wait to hear what Jay's favorite Halloween costume is. And candy, because I don't think you're really a candy person, Jay.
No.
So Starburst, which is probably predictable that it wouldn't be chocolate. I like chocolate, but it's always fruit for dessert. I went as the first pregnant man in like second or third grade. There's a picture of me standing in front of the refrigerator that I still have of me with a pillow underneath a shirt and whatever, with a trench coat, like one of my dad's trench coats, and a hat, although we didn't wear hats in those days. I don't know where that came from. And then a drawn-on mustache, probably in some ink or something like that. And so I was the first pregnant.
Well,
pregnant man, searching for Starbucks.
You were the youngest, right, in your family?
I was. Yeah.
Were you hinting for a younger sibling that you could boss around?
Oh no, I don't think it was that. No, I don't think so. I think it was probably the lack of anything else. That would be my guess. There was no other choices. It was like, and my parents. Yes, I was the youngest. My parents were probably exhausted, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't come up with a costume for him."
Well, you wouldn't
stick
have
a
to
pillow under his shirt, put a coat on, and a hat.
Well, you probably had no fear of any kind of duplication or someone else robbing your idea. I think you probably soloed on that one.
So we've talked about the treats, but how about some of the tricks? I think that you have a spooky Halloween fun fact.
Oh yes, but in order to read it, I have to turn. That was me, incidentally, in the Zorro outfit, in case there was a question. Okay, so. Yeah, so if let me just read down here. Fox News poll from October 1999. Which one of the following is your single favorite scary movie? Silence of the Lambs, The Exorcist, Psycho, The Birds, The Shining, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, or Seven? I can't exactly remember that. And the answer, number one, was The Silence of the Lambs at 24%, followed by a three-way tie between The Exorcist, Psycho, and The Birds. And then everything else kind of dribbles down. But let me tell you, folks, The Birds is number one. I mean, what is going on here? I mean, Silence of the Lambs, okay, but I mean, let's get real here. I don't know. What do you guys?
Now, is there something more recent that might have beaten these movies out, or are these the traditional scary movies of Halloween?
I'm surprised things that are missing, like Carrie is not on there, and there are newer ones. The Freddy Krueger movies and all that; those are very popular. The one that is, I think, the scariest movie ever is Alien. When that thing comes out, that is the scary. And Sigourney Weaver, God, I love her. Anyway, that's my scary movie, and that's not on the list. So I don't know.
Well, I have to agree with the plurality here. Silence of the Lambs actually scarred me. This was a movie that Jay, I saw this movie when I was probably I think I was 14 years old. It was with a group of girls. We were actually celebrating getting into the high schools of our choice that we had applied to. And we thought it would be fun to all get together and rent a movie. And we rented Silence of the Lambs. That was the biggest mistake ever.
God.
I don't know what we were thinking, but I remember being terrified and sleeping with the lights on at 14 years old, and like the hallway light on, and like checking it was just, it has scarred me to this day. But, and before that, I would say Nightmare on Elm Street, just because Freddy Krueger totally creeped me out. But, or what say you?
Well, it's funny, and you guys probably not going to be surprised by this, but I really don't like to watch scary movies. If something doesn't have a happy ending, I really don't want to watch it. So the only movies that I have seen on this list, I was Psycho and The Birds, because they are older movies. They don't have as much of the, certainly they were frightening, but they don't quite have all the effects that, more recently made movies do. So yeah, I have passed on all the rest of them, for something like Legally Blonde or something.
Dirty Dancing.
So, the other thing that's interesting here is that this is a tradition that I didn't know existed of watching scary movies on Halloween. That's actually something people, especially adults without kids, there's a whole thing about watching scary movies on Halloween, which makes sense. I just never really thought about it. So,
Absolutely.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Pick your favorite scary movie and eat your favorite candy, right? I mean, yeah. I didn't mean to have the last word, people. Come on. Boo. No. Okay, goodbye.
No, the last word.
All right, let me stop the record.
Oh,
Take this off before I boil.
Me. Oh my God.